Hi there and welcome back to 2 Point Hospital Culture Shock. So today's video I'm going to go through all the new features added in the DLC with the Mudbury Festival level. Last video we did Plywood Studios in the same way, working through the trials and tribulations of Dr. Cushion. This time it's Mudbury, so much like Plywood, Mudbury needs our help. The festival has lost its way, and we're responsible for bringing it back to its former glory, running the hospitality village. So I'm expecting there to be a lot of festival injuries, maybe sickness, because, you know, that's the sort of thing that does happen at a festival. Let's see. Right, so this is a wave level. Now, that means we're going to get waves of patients needing diagnosis and treatment. So that's a steady throughput of people. This is going to be fun. It all looks very cute as well, doesn't it? Far less mud than a real festival. Yeah, I mean, the setup here is all looking very hygienic. I'm guessing hygiene is going to be a high priority though, so I'll make sure to get hand sanitizer around everywhere. Plus plenty of toilets and bins about the place, because that should keep our hygiene really good. So I'm going to get set up with the basics here, and I'll cut back when we get our first wave of people. Right, so first wave is imminent, and that's the basic stuff set up here. So I've prepped ahead, and I've got 5 GP clinics set up. At the moment, that's probably a bit too much, but I know at some point in the future we're going to need at least 5, so I may as well get them set down now. Above this is where the diagnosis clinics are going to fit. Again, I've got the basic one set up now. When we get a little bit more cash or we get a bit more demand, I can set the other ones up. Now, the other side, I have treatment rooms set up here for now. I like to keep treatments all grouped together, and it doesn't matter if the treatment rooms are a little further away, because once a patient's gone in for treatment, that's it, they don't have to go anywhere else. Whereas with the diagnosis rooms, they could be walking to and from GP to diagnosis room to GP again to diagnosis room, so it's best to keep them all clustered together if you can. Now, because patients are going to show up in waves, I've currently got 3 reception desks set up, because it's going to be a huge bottleneck. If they all show up in one big wave, everyone's going to be at the desk at the same time, so the more I can spread out the load of that, the better. I've got 3 set up for now. I may even need more in the future depending how big the waves are. Something else I've got going on here that I'm trying to help myself for the future is I'm leaving plenty of walk around space in the centre here. We're going to start to see lots of crowds and people congregating around the offices and such. Now, I don't want people that are just standing about clogging up the walkway through, because it'll slow down other people trying to get through. So I have got it clear at the moment. We'll see how I get on after a couple of waves, whether this is all working or not. We may need to reconfigure some of the rooms. Anyway, let's open the floodgates and let the first wave through. Oh, that's a bit fast. They are running through. Let's slow that down to the normal speed. So yeah, as predicted, there's already a huge queue at both the receptions we've got running. I have got 3 desks set up, but I've only got 2 receptionists, as the choice in staff for the other desk it wasn't right at this time. So I'm holding out to see if we can get a better one. Ooh, interesting. That's our first new illness discovered. Minty condition. Despite its name, the sufferer, who may emit a faint peppermint aroma, is in a state that is far from perfect. Strange bacteria responsible is most commonly contracted through expensive herbal teas and really old comic books. So this is a hipster festival then. That's the expensive tea party kind, so think Pimm's and Lemonade kind of vibe, not like the down and dirty type of metal festivals I've gone to in my youth. Anywho, treatment is in the ward, and I've already got one of those set up, so that's fine. So, right, let's move on then. So that's the 10 patients cured for wave 1, but obviously we've still got to process the ones that are left. Now, this is where things could get tricky, because we're not getting a steady flow of money through. To counteract that somewhat, I've set up a research facility, which is kind of the cheat button to be able to inject some cash into the business. I've also set up my massive training room. Now, I think I'm going to trademark that name, because I'm the only one I've seen so far that has a training room that's this ridiculous. It cost me an arm and a leg, but it's so worth it because it just trains the staff up super quickly, which I think we're going to need on this level for definite. So we're now waiting on one guy so we can get over this blooming wave 1. And he's just refusing to heal, taking his time, lazing about in the bed. I think the problem has been that because we've only got a pharmacy, the normal ward and the fracture ward set up, there was a lot of people queued to get in the fracture ward. Now, I could have made the ward a little bigger, but I didn't like doing that because I know later on the fracture ward isn't going to get as much activity. It'll slow down to maybe 2 or 3 patients every so often. Money situation is really rough right now, so again, I might just have to spam the research cheaty button a little bit to get that up for us. Right, hopefully, fingers crossed, this is him done now. Oh, you kidding me? After all that, he's just dead. Oh, that's typical, isn't it? We've been waiting around for this guy and he just goes and dies anyway. Well, someone's going to have to deal with that body. Yep, even in blooming death, he doesn't want to leave the place. He's going to come back as a ghost. Oh, just anything to make my day a little worse. Good job you have a janitor who can deal with that. Well, wave 2 is underway and we've got some really enthusiastic patients desperate to get to the reception desk first. Yeah, you can see even from this early stage how this is going to go down. There is a huge queue there, even though we've now got 3 receptionists. I think I'll definitely be buying another one before the next wave. New illness discovered, snot twist. A complex twisting of the mucus that affects the sufferer's airways, caused by sudden changes in narrative and finding out that it's all been a dream. Well, that's an odd one. Treatment in the pharmacy. Good. At least that's more traffic going into the pharmacy and less in the wards. Right, and we're now on to wave 3. Now, everything seemed to go pretty smoothly in wave 2. We did have a couple of stragglers again left in the fracture ward. Again, I think that'll sort itself out once we get more treatments available. It's interesting actually, that downtime that you get in between the 2 waves, it's actually a good time to train your staff up and get the janitors to upgrade some of the equipment because it's not being used. Oh, here they come. Eager as ever to get through the doors. Yeah, so those patient numbers are definitely picking up. This is going to be a rough one. Couple of light bulb heads there. That means we need to build a new treatment clinic, and that's going to cost money, which we can ill afford. Guess I'm doing a little more research then to be able to get that. So wave 3 is proving a little difficult. This is the 3rd time I've had to go through this level, and that's because I keep failing on the unblock 3 toilets mission that's popped up. Unfortunately, and really bizarrely for a festival, they're just not getting clogged. Now, I am processing the patients okay, they're getting through. It's just the toilet thing. So basically, maybe I'm doing too well. I've had to delete a load of my toilets so that everybody's using the same one, so hopefully that will increase the chances of it getting blocked. I've also had to put down laxative machines everywhere that'll make them go for poops more often. I mean, this could seriously backfire and we could end up with a mountain of poop all over the floor. We'll see, but hopefully, fingers crossed now with only the option to drink laxative drinks. We should get that unblocking the toilet objective, no problem. So we finally passed wave 3 when I reduced down the toilet capacity, but, and I don't know if this is a coincidence, we've got a new patient displaying a new illness. And I don't know about you, but that definitely looked suspiciously like poop to me, basically. It's either poop or mud, and well, I suppose both would make sense at a festival. But I'm guessing this is probably one of the new illnesses that will need a new treatment room on this level. We'll see. So I checked the room list, and indeed, a new room called the Wash Pit has opened up. And this cures patients with soiled self. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? So I probably was right, it probably is just mud. Anyway, so I've got ahead of myself and I've placed one of these rooms down already. Now, I hadn't noticed, but moving on to wave 4, it's actually opened up a new section of ground in the festival as well, so that's given us a lot more room to play with. So I've done a little rearranging of some of the treatment rooms to make use of this. And indeed, there we go, new illness discovered, soiled self. Sufferers have mud poisoning after accidentally ingesting dirt. They had fun for a while dancing and feeling one with the earth. Ugh. But after a while, they become entirely soily. They need a deep clean. Now, that's pretty funny and accurate for a festival. I mean, if it piddles down and the sites get really muddy, there's always an idiot or two thinks it's a great idea to go mud diving, and you'll see people covered head to toe in mud. Now, I'm sure at the time they're having a great time, but the washing facilities at most festivals is pretty questionable at best. So I imagine the next day they'd have no choice but to visit like a medical tent or something to get rid of it. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's skip ahead here and see someone get the wash pit treatment. So we have our first filthy patient approaching the wash pit. They even walk a bit funky, don't they? Let's see how the rubber-dub tub goes. So straight in the wash bowl. Nope. Well, are they thinking about it? There we go. So, oh, first one down. Oh, filling up the water. Bubbly. Oh, little sponges. Well, big sponges. I should get you squeaky clean. Okay, what's next? Ah, little hair dryers. Well, big hair dryers. Very nice. Are we done? No? Something else? Ah, a little spray of perfume. Oh, that's so cute. I think we're done now, yeah. There we go. All nice and clean. So, wave 5, and I've spotted a new patient. So, that's a hammerhead? Now, it doesn't take a wild guess to figure that's possibly something to do with head banging. Hopefully, this isn't more treatment in the ward though, because it's the ward throughput that seems to be holding us up the most in this level. So I was kind of right. New illness, banging headache. An extreme form of headache that hardens the sufferer's head, giving it a subtle, often imperceptible metallic quality. Subtle? Yeah, sure mate, that giant hammerhead is really subtle. Right, treatment in the injection room. Well, good job I've already got one of those then, isn't it? So, wave 6 has started, and basically there's only one task: cure 42 patients with Mr. Wiener. That's something I've not seen before, so basically we've got to figure out the illness and then hope that we've got the right treatment room for it and enough capacity for it. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. Right, so that didn't take long to discover what this is. Mr. Wiener. A delusional condition that causes the sufferer to dress like a hot dog. Right, that's all I need to know. Treatment is in the pharmacy. Now, I've already got 2 pharmacies, but I think we're going to need a few more to cover this volume of people. Hopefully we can get through this one. I mean, I believe in us. I believe we can do it. We can do it. So the Wiener population is a tad out of control right now. I have built 2 more pharmacies in the hopes that that helps, but obviously the costs are going to spiral out of control, so we can't build any more. This is going to be a tough one. Just holding out hope that we're going to make it through. Right, 1 Wiener left to go, and we're there. Ah, there we go. There it is. 1 star. That was pretty rough for a 1 star, to be honest. But hey ho, it is what it is. So what do we get for that? Bonus? Kudos. Ooh, it unlocks the next hospital, Fitzpocket Academy, and we get a soiled yourself poster. Lovely. Just what I always wanted. So I'm finally up to the last wave to reach the 2 stars. This time I need to cure 30 patients with a banging headache and also train 8 members of staff. Now, this feels way too easy, to be honest. I mean, the last wave, wave 11, that was pretty difficult because it wanted me to generate 1,000 research points. So I had to move out and expand the research room a bit to hit that. I mean, the good thing is that whilst I had to redo that wave a few times, the cash has really been rolling in. So I honestly don't think cash is ever going to be an issue at this hospital ever again. So there is that at least. Yep, so I made it, and this one wasn't actually too bad. I mean, I did have to create a couple of more injection clinics because, like, the one clinic I did have couldn't handle it. So unfortunately, those that are left are really just dying out now because they just haven't had time to get treated and their health is really poor. So yeah, the ones that are left are just dying. But we should very, very shortly, in the next couple of seconds, have the 2 star. Yep, there we go. Made it. So what do we get for that? Kudos, bonus, yep. Oh, and a slippery floor sign. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's really nice, that one, actually. Right, onwards now for the 3 star. 5 more waves to go. So I'm up to wave 13, and I just wanted to point out that this has opened up yet another area here. So this gives us a lot more scenery to look at beyond the gates. So we've got this little music thing here, and then up at the top there's this little fairground, and then over in the corner there's the whole big stage area that's opened up. So that's pretty cool. I mean, for wave 13, the objectives at this point aren't too bad, so it shouldn't take me all that long to move up to the next wave. I just thought it was pretty cool to see how the scenery actually expands as you move up in levels. Okay, so we're up to the final task, and honestly, I was expecting a lot worse. I need to bring up the reputation a bit, but I can do that through having a couple of marketing campaigns, and I also need to cure 45 patients with soiled self. Now, for that, I've moved some of the clinics about a bit so the wash pits are a lot nearer. Reason being, they have a bit of a janky walk, the patients, for that. So the soiled themselves patients take a bit longer to get to their treatment rooms, so it makes sense having them a little closer. Anyway, this is how the final hospital is looking. Now, I know it's not pretty by any means, but it works, it's functional, and we've made a lot of money and are supporting a lot of staff by this point. I don't think earning the 3 stars will be much of an issue. So, this was actually way more of an issue than it should have been. Those damn dirty patients are really good at dying. I failed this level a couple of times, had to set up a few more treatment rooms, and I had to send every other patient away to give them a fighting chance of getting through. Now, our money has dropped significantly from that, but at least I had enough in reserve to make it work. I'm just waiting for this final patient to be cleaned or to die. There we go. 3 stars for Mudbury. I'm glad that one's done, to be honest. Now, some of the waves on this level are way more challenging than the others. Some of the earlier levels, the challenge is harder, and then the later waves, it gets a little easier, but maybe that's because you've got more experience or something. Probably all evens out, doesn't it? So, let's see, what do we get from the 3 stars? Usual bonus, kudos, and a speaker stack. Well, that's nifty. Not sure it's worth the effort of what I did to get those 3 stars, but you know, I suppose I get the cred for having the 3 stars now, so there is that. So that's everything done that we can do here at Mudbury. If you've made it this far, let me know what you think of this level in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts on how it's been. So, what have I done right? What have I done wrong? Anything you'd do differently? I love getting any feedback. That's it for me today. Join me next time when I'm going to take on Fitz Pocket Academy, so the 3rd in this DLC series. Hopefully that's not another wave level. I think I'm a bit done with wave levels at this point. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.